The Wi-Fi password.
The KW's or the staff one is, capital SELL, capital SELL -19. Yes,
Is that her name?
Nessa.
Yes. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Hello, how are you, Callie?
Doing well, how are you doing?
Good. Monica will be in here just a minute. We're swapping spots.
Good
morning, good afternoon, good afternoon.
Oh,
She
she is serious. You brought the whole bowl today.
Well,
I'm liking it.
I didn't wanna discriminate on what kind of candy I brought in here.
That's right.
And, I didn't want.
Or how much?
I didn't wanna make choices for you as to what kind of candy you got. I put in all kinds of weird.
Okay, there's 5, except for 6 has 6 or more. I don't know. Anyway, 4, 5, and 6.
Oh, that got all kinds of-
Isn't Jan pretty good? I just like that whole, I like the bright orange, I think.
Yeah, I'm not liking how it attaches.
Oh, it looks good though.
Which Wi-Fi do I connect to in here? It is, KW staff. Okay. And the password is capital S.
Sell 19 with capital S on both of them.
And I tried that and.
She told her already, Jan.
It didn't, so. I should-
No, sweet, when you're bored.
And that's the proper way to do it, with all underlines underneath it, and that tells you that it's capitalized. Beautiful. Okay. What are we talking about today? Oh, we're talking about sellers. Awesome. Next time we get to talk about buyers, which is my favorite thing to talk about. Anybody want candy before we start?
Yes.
You will not be shy. And those are really good when they're frozen. Or is that the pieces? Oh.
I've never even had those. I just like the Reese's cups and the Reese's peanut butter.
Well, we have Reese's
Reese's
pieces.
pieces.
And I believe that she has them in here.
The little bag.
But I will say that, these are like one of my favorites. And they're really good if you freeze them.
That's my favorite.
Oh, my mother.
You freeze them.
Yes.
And I used to, before I decided that I was fat and I needed to lose weight, I had my dealer. Okay, would go in and I had a little plastic bag in the freezer that was full of Reese's peanut butter cups just for me. And then when it would run low, my dealer would then come back in and he goes, I'm talking about jam. Just so you know.
Oh.
I knew that for sure.
So
She's
she,
your partner in crime.
she is, well, I will say that she, I couldn't do what I do without her. Okay, and I do a lot and that really stinks.
You do a lot, huh?
I do, do I do a lot?
Yes, you do. It stinks that you do a lot, or it stinks that you couldn't do it without it?
No,
No, I said do.
do.
Oh, do. Oh.
What I do well. And that stinks. I have all kinds of little things, you guys, I just so you know. If you ever say so to me, and I'm in a mood for that day, I will say so buttons on your underwear.
Oh, there you go.
Which is a saying that I got from a former boss that I had. So obviously I used to say so all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about sellers today. And I will start out by saying this. He who controls the listing controls the market. Okay, so if your sign is in the yard, you are the one that controls the market. Sellers are a way to give you your life back. What did that giggle mean?
Right.
Buyers take you.
Yes, they do. So, with sellers, you are not putting people in the car, you're not driving around for 5 hours, you're not showing properties. You're not going out showing them, 8 or 9 properties in one day. And of course, they're picky and they don't pick any of those 8 or 9 that you showed them, so you gotta go show them more. And then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, you're up to 100 properties. And you've shown them, 100 properties and you've spent all this time. And you've spent all this gas. And you can't get any of that time back. And you don't get any of that gas back. And not to be a negative Nanny, and then they go, oh, we found a for sale by owner and made an offer on it. It happens. And we don't like it when it happens, because we spend a lot of money on it. Sellers, on the other hand, are a little bit easier. They can be a little bit more cantankerous. That doesn't work, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll make sure I said it right today. And depending on the market, depends on, how cantankerous they are. Okay. You can also get, some difficult sellers that go along with it. But sellers give you more freedom. You have more time to have a life. When you deal with sellers. I tell a lot of stories about my daughter, and I apologize, I love her very much. She took real
You
estate.
should apologize for that.
She took real estate to a level that I knew she'd be good, but I never knew she'd be as good as she is. So my daughter does 97% of all her business is in listings. She doesn't really deal with, and just so you know, that's what it says when you call me. So tell me something good when you call me. So 97% of her business comes from listings. Okay, so you want to be out there, you want to be finding listings, because you're not putting people in the car. You're not driving around, you're not using your own gas, you are using gas to go over there and do everything. More of what goes on with the seller is probably done up front before you ever get a sign in the yard. Okay, so you've got to go over there and you've got to meet with them and you've got to tell them all the horrible things that are going on with their house and all the, orange walls that we have to paint and that carpet's gross and we gotta remove cats and we gotta, just all of those things. So there's way more upfront work that goes on with the seller than after the fact. Okay, so you wanna go find sellers, okay? And she said she had some, look at her, she's just got them all numbered. Christine, do you need one? She told me if I needed to make more that we would. I will tell you, I've got some new faces in here. And I will tell you that I do not go through the book page by page.
But we get through it. Always, don't we?
We do get through it. I do cover everything in here. I just don't do it page by page. I've been teaching this class since 2008. So I kind of got it down a little bit. And I also have squirrels. Okay, so if you have a question and you ask me a question and it may not pertain anything to what we're talking about, it's just something popped on your head. I will go down that track. We will talk about it, and then I will circle back and amazingly enough, get back on track and we'll go through it. So I do use, the chapter as a guide just to make sure that I don't miss anything. But
Speaking
I
of
don't.
squirrels, you wanna hear some? Listen to this.
see, it's already started.
There's the squirrels up in the attic. Listen. They're fighting or something.
No, they're mating.
Or they're mating.
They're mating,
Yeah.
and she's squealing.
She is, isn't she? There was a bunch of them up in, this is a rental house next to our condo. And, John, one of the guys that was there, he was like, I don't know, something's in your guys' house up in the attic, cause this was from outside. From quite a ways away that he could hear that and recorded that. And they had to have people come in and they said it was squirrels, so they tried to get some of them out and then they set some traps to relocate them or something. And closed up the opening in the house, I guess.
Yeah.
They found an opening somewhere to get
You
in.
get bats in your house, you get.
Right, but isn't that crazy how loud they was? They was just
Okay.
carrying on down. That was their undoing. They were naughty and see, it got them caught. They probably could have stayed there all winter if they hadn't been naughty.
Should've told her to be quiet.
That's right, he should have, yeah, he could have gagged her or something.
Don't get so noisy.
I guess that's a whole different kind of maybe.
Yeah, a squirrel, but a squirrel, hole, but I probably shouldn't have gone down.
Right, probably so.
So I will say that people, I'm gonna have to go put my phone up. So we wanna work with sellers. We wanna go get sellers. We want to market to sellers. A great way to get sellers is to do door knocking. Along with wearing your name badge everywhere that you go. I'm only seeing one.
I'm having a hard time finding mine.
I've been wearing it every other day.
And today's just not the day. If you don't wear it
She wore
on
it yesterday.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. Wear your name badge everywhere you go. You wanna team up with somebody, maybe do some, door knocking. I always tell everybody, start with your neighborhood. Your neighborhood is the best place to start. If you're going to start doing some marketing and door knocking, you need to be the expert in your neighborhood. Okay, so you want to get to know everybody that you can possibly get to know in your neighborhood. And if you are gonna do farming, make sure you kind of stay around your house. Okay, so if you live in Kimberling City, you don't wanna go to Walnut Shade to be doing door knocking and stuff like that. You wanna market around your house, okay? So door knocking is a great way to do that. You do wanna carry, some comps with you and stuff like that so that you can, communicate with people and talk to people. I will tell you that one of the best ways to get to know a market is to go see the market. So any house that's on the market in your neighborhood, you need to go preview and go check it out. And if you don't have any houses on the market in your neighborhood, go pick some houses that are active. I usually tell everybody start with vacant houses because you're not kicking anybody out of the house. So you want to make sure that you go look at some vacant ones, preferably KW listings. From this office, it makes it a lot easier to go look at them and you can explain to them that you're previewing. That you want to get to know the market. So you want to be able to, when you come across a neighborhood, you want to know what everything's worth in that market. As you get more experience and stuff like that, and you get out there, you'll kind of be able to know, and it'll just kind of happen, okay? My daughter can tell you what a house is worth without even looking at it. Whoa. So you do want to get out there, you do want to find as many sellers as you possibly can. Real. This is my fault. So the first thing that when you do come across a seller, that says that I wanna, I'm thinking about listing my house. You do wanna pre-qualify them. One of the most important things that you can figure out about them is what is their motivating factor? And why do they wanna move? Okay, we're moving back up to Kansas City to be closer to our family. I'm getting up there in years and I can't take care of the property anymore. We wanna downsize. We want to upsize. I wanna find something for my grandkids to come to. So you wanna find out what their motivating factor, why is it that they're selling, okay? If somebody says we're gonna downsize and they're staying in an area, you wanna then go into the conversation of you're gonna help them find something. Because the really awesome thing about selling a listing is within
They
24
gotta go
hours,
somewhere.
you close on a buyer. Okay, so, I can't tell you how many times I went on listing appointments or did open houses and I had people come in and I would have a conversation with them when they came in and they'd say, oh yeah, our house is on the market. Are you not working with that agent to find you a new house? Oh no, she's just selling it. Okay, awesome. Sign this buyer's agency agreement and I'll help you find something. So you do want to find out what their motivating factor is. Position yourself as the expert when the listing, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go through that. On page 14, there are a list of questions that you can go through. Okay, so if you're on floor duty, and somebody calls in and they say, I'm thinking about listing my house, this is a list of questions that you can start asking them. Now, I will say that the person who asks the questions is the person who controls the conversation. Okay, so you want to move the conversation, so that they want to use you. I will also tell you that 84% of people use the first agent that they come across. So the goal is to be the first agent that they talk to, okay? Now, I will say down here, sometimes it's good to be the second and third agent that they talk to. Because it used to be down here in this market, but Steve and I always have a running joke. We come down here, a house would go on the market, of course I look it up and see how much the house is. And then we would make a bet as to how much it was gonna sell for. And based on the price that it was at, how long it was gonna take to sell, okay? We're kind of getting back into that a little bit. Unfortunately, we had a market that was just like crazy. And you guys all hear me talk about that crazy market that we had. And we were definitely in a seller's market, okay? Seller could ever price the house by 50, 60, 70, $100,000. And oh my God, they get it. We are now, that is starting to shift a little bit. And we are getting into a buyer's market.
But it's still higher than when it jumped up. It jumped up really high and it's come down some, but it's still like twice of what it was right before that happened.
Oh, yeah.
Prices are,
Yeah.
and
what I usually.
those days are gone, I guess.
What I usually tell everybody is, back in the day, around the 2010 to 2015 period, the market down here and before, 2008 when the market crashed. So in 2008, the market kind of crashed. So I'll give you guys a little bit of a timeline. We had the crash. And everything just kind of, you couldn't get rid of a house down here. Everything was overpriced. It didn't matter what happened. We had a lot of foreclosures going on. The actual day that the crash happened, was August 14th of 2008. The spigot was on, it was flowing, everything was great. And then August 14th came along and oh my God, the bottom fell out. Now, the reason that it fell out on August 14th is if you guys know anything about the real estate market in the schools, August 14th is about the time that everybody starts to go back to school. So you guys are gonna notice as you do real estate, that there is a ebb and flow to the cycle of real estate. And it doesn't matter where you are, okay? There's always real estate that's gonna be sold. There's always gonna be people that are gonna relocate. There's always gonna be people that live in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house and they're having twins and now we need more room, okay? That's always gonna happen. But it kind of shut down on the 14th of August. In 2008, and what happened down here was the prices, they tanked and they went way down. And then probably not the best one to use.
No, it's not.
And most houses will have a average increase in appreciation of 3 to 6% a year, year over year. Your house should go up 3 to 6% every year, year over year. If you maintain it properly and you do what you need to do and all that good stuff. Okay. So in December of 2008, Steve and I bought a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath lake house for 130, did we pay 135? Yeah, I think we paid 132. So we bought this house in December of 2008. And the market tanked and it just did this for years. Okay, we had no appreciation. There wasn't anything going on. What you bought it for in 2008 was pretty much what you were gonna sell it for
If you were lucky.
Yeah.
after that.
I feel like I heard at that time that over the next 4 years, houses in this area decreased over the 4 years by 25%. So it was more like 6% depreciation per year.
Yes. And it was
So
ugly.
people were upside down.
Yeah. I mean, you can be upside
They
down.
were going backwards anyway, for
They were
sure.
going
Yeah.
backwards. Okay. And it did nothing. It was either flat or it went down. Okay. So. And I guess it was when the pandemic hit. Okay, we were starting, probably around 2015. It would do this. Okay, and then it would kind of do this, and then it would do this, but you were getting 3% appreciation on your house. And you definitely weren't getting 6% appreciation on the house. Okay, so in 2016. Sorry. No, I think it was April of 2017. In 2017. We sold that 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. 1,000 square feet. It was horrible. You guys have no idea. We sold our house up in Stonewall. Which of course, we lived there forever and ever and a day. So we did have appreciation from what we bought it from. But I lived in a 6,000 square foot house.
For 1,000 square feet.
And we went from a 6,000 square foot house to a 1,000 square foot house. My daughter used to go, "Mom, how many end tables can you have in the family room?" They were just basically lined up. So anyway, we sold this house in 2017 for $135,000. Made no money on it. Rehab the kitchen, redid the bathroom, put new windows in
Right,
it,
so you probably, yeah.
painted it, put a deck on it, and we got nothing back for it.
Is this the story where the people who bought it have turned around and sold it again for a ridiculous amount? Is that what's gonna happen here? Am I stealing your thunder?
Spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
In 2019,
Oh, no, that fast?
Yeah, so bad.
the house sold for $260,000.
Ouch. Oh, that's an ouch.
Not really. I'll tell you the other side of this story here in a minute. I'm not complaining. Oh, it's gonna tick at me. This is stuff just driving.
Yes, it's just for security, I guess.
And I
Because it does it every time. If you accidentally hit that back button, you gotta do it again.
I mean, like once a month,
like I was
maybe,
just here.
but every day, every time, like.
Well, if you log in with the same, and the reason that it's doing it is because I'm logged in my office, okay? But
It
if
does it to
you,
me all the time, though. If I just accidentally hit the back button and it puts me out of it, then I have to get the code in. Oh my God.
it's actually pending right now.
Again?
Mhm. Yeah, this house has sold like 3 or 4 times since we bought it. Can I get more? Closed. Oh, no, it sold for 165. And I might need to go in and pull this up a different way. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. If I can spell. Okay. So do I have it done by ascending? 135. Okay,
You bought it for 135.
we bought it for
137.
135. We sold it for 137. Okay,
And they turned.
and then in 2019, they sold the house for 165. Okay, and then the house actually went in and sold again. For when did this sell? What's the date? 2021. So 2 years after it sold in 2019. It sold for $225,000.
Wow.
It is now on the market for $335,000.
And somebody bought it.
And it's pending.
It's pending.
How'd you get it to do that with that? Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, you just went, oh, I get it, yeah. How you viewed it. I didn't know you could do that.
Well, you have to go do a search a different way.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So it's now pending. And in full disclosure, I know what the price is because I have access to everybody's contract. So it's scheduled to close, I believe this week. And the sales price will be $325,000. So as you can see,
For 1,000 square foot. Yeah,
for
they add on to it.
basically, I think it's 1,300. It's got a downstairs. You know, now I
But
will
they
go.
didn't add any square foot to it.
No,
Right,
it's still,
it's
they
still the same.
kind of redid some stuff, so
Yeah.
they put a bathroom
Updated it.
downstairs and updated it and did some stuff to it, so I'm not saying that, you know, they didn't go in and do some really cool stuff to the house. Okay, but they didn't go really do some cool stuff to the house.
Not that much money worth it, yeah.
Okay, so basically, since 2017, this property has almost tripled in price.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
crazy.
Now, but you can see that the market, I mean, even when it sold for 165, which he did go in and do some stuff to the house. And it sold, what's the year here? 2019. That was 2019 was basically when things started increasing. And we went away from this stable, not doing anything number. And we made up for all the years that we didn't have that appreciation.
Yeah, it's like caught up with itself on its own, didn't it?
So the market corrected itself. Okay, now I think that's a little high, and I think it overcorrected a little bit.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, they're higher than what they normally would have been.
Now on the flip side of that, everybody's going, oh, Mark, you really lost your ass on that, didn't you?" Sorry.
But, I
I
mean, it's
really
good news
lost
for
my
the
mind.
market, I mean, I guess, in a way, right?
Huh?
It's kind of good news for the market though, I guess, in a way, right?
No, it's great.
Because if you're making commission, you're making commission on a lot more money.
Yes, and I will say that our sales price in this office when I started in April of 2015. Oh my God, I've been here a long time. Our average sales price was $135,000. Our average sales price in this office now is $284,000. So in 10 years, it has basically doubled. Okay, now, and I'm gonna tell you the good news. Okay. We sold this house for 135. 37. Okay. The house that we bought. Lakefront. Your view, you know,
You got
year
the
round view, you know, whole bit. We bought it for $215,000.
Okay.
Okay. Now
it's worth.
We rehabbed it and sunk, you know, $100,000 into it. But now the house is worth $700,000 to $800,000.
That's amazing.
So
Wow, just stick it out.
I'm not complaining. You know, I can tell you that when Ann listed the house, she called me, Ann Ferguson. She called because she sold her house for us back in the day. And she also had the listing of the house that we bought. But she called me to tell me that she was selling it just out of kindness of her heart. And I said, what are you listing it for? And she told me, I think it was $350 is what they listed it for. And she goes, I know. And I said, no big deal. You know, I get it. That's great. So, you know, we ended up where we needed to be, so it all worked out.
And you don't want to be back there.
Oh, no. I loved that yard.
Oh, you did? I thought you said you didn't like the house because
But
it's.
she loved the yard.
But it has a beautiful yard.
She's a yard lady.
Yeah, no, I am too. I know.
The yard was awesome. I mean, we
I had a place where I had, my husband built me a
I'm getting
rose
way
garden,
excited.
and I had a big rose garden, and we had to sell that, and I still miss the road.
So my yard was like, it looked like a park. And I had all these gardens and Steve and I would go out on the lake with the boat and we would go rock hunting and I built all these walls, you know.
Oh, yeah,
walls
right.
With the.
Is this down Joe Ball?
Hmm,
Is this down Joe Ball?
yes,
Yes.
Did you say that already? I missed that, sorry.
down Stone Road. Yeah, and I don't know if I can go, I'm getting way sidetracked here.
That's okay, I'm looking at my phone.
We will cover everything. So that's when I bought it. Let's see if we have any pictures of the. And I don't even know if she put any pictures of the yard. In here. Yeah, you can't see the garden. Hmm. Yeah, she didn't have any of it, but up at the top, I have, you know, so anyway, I'm a gardener. I'm a flower girl. So I have lots of flowers. People would walk by just to see what I had done. I'm a flea market gardener, so I go to the flea markets and the antique places and I buy things and I bring them home and I flip it over. And Steve drills holes in it for me so I can plant flowers. Lots of weird stuff that goes on. Anyway, that's my squirrel for the day. So you do want to ask him these questions, you know, what's motivating you? Why are you moving? How soon do you have to be there? You know, what's the plan? So, you know, when they say, oh, we're not moving for another year, that's one of those that you need to keep in contact with them. I always do want to go take a look at the house. one of the big things that, I used to do was, you know, when they told me that they were thinking about moving was that you wanna go look at it so I can let you know what to do. So that you don't spend money on things that you don't need to spend money on. And I'll give you an example of this. I had a friend of Steve's that they were gonna go buy a farm in Mound City, Kansas. And so they were selling their house. And I said, Nick, let me come over and take a look. No, I don't need you to do that. But I need to replace my roof. Okay, and instead of buying a regular 30-year timberline roof, keep in mind, he's moving. He knows he's moving. So instead of doing a regular 30-year timberline roof, he decided to get a 100-year non-destructible roof. He spent $30,000 more on a roof than he needed to. Okay. And of course, then he had me over and I walked in the house and said, the wallpaper's gotta go. And the carpet's gotta go. And we need to do all these updates and everything to the house. And we got down into the basement and there was a window. I don't know if you guys, you know, it had a regular cement basement, not walkout, none of that. Had one of those little garage windows, you guys know what I'm talking about? That if you were a teenager, you slid apart, that's how you snuck out of the house. Nobody else did that, just me.
Just floor level.
So he had one of these little windows and it was cracked. And he said, yeah, I'm gonna replace that. And I said, no, we're not. And he said, why not? And I said, well, because that's gonna pop on the inspection. And that's gonna be a given.
Oh.
We are willing to go ahead and fix that. Okay, so they're gonna send us over an inspection notice and they're gonna have a list of that stuff on there. And we'll give them that one. Okay, we're willing to do that. So that's gonna be a given. And we may not do something else, but we'll give them that. And if they don't ask for that, you didn't spend the money on it. Okay.
That's good.
So when you do go in and you start looking at properties to put on the market, think about what really needs to be done in the house to be able to sell it. That cracked window was not going, somebody was not gonna go, I'm not buying this house because it's got a tough window.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, they might walk in and go, I'm not buying this house because I'm not dealing with all this wallpaper. Right. Okay. Now I will say this, if they come back and they say, well, I don't want to do anything, we'll just give a credit. Or an allowance, that's what they call it, an allowance. You need to educate them, not all mortgages will allow them to get an allowance. FHA, USDA, VA, they don't allow allowances. Okay, you can't put any money in an escrow. So when we go in and we say, we gotta replace the carpet, and we gotta put flooring in, well, I don't know what the new buyers are gonna want. Doesn't matter, we're gonna go with something neutral. Okay. Or we got the purple wall, I need you to paint the purple wall. Well, I don't know what's painted. It's okay, we're gonna paint it something neutral.
My husband always says, well, wouldn't it be better to just wait and find the people that move in here, cause they might come in and want a different color and paint it all over again.
And they're gonna do that anyway.
And I said, yeah, they're gonna do that anyway, but it's not gonna, it's gonna sell faster or better with the other.
They're gonna walk in and go, oh my God, it's got a purple wall in it.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I don't really want to.
Negative emotions and emotions what sell.
Now I will follow that up with, do not let your sellers pick out the paint colors.
Exactly.
I had a guy one time putting the house on the market and I said, we had to take some wallpaper down in the master bedroom and I said, you're gonna have to paint it. And he said, okay. And I said, I need an off-white eggshell color. Okay. One, you wanna tell them what colors to get. Two, you wanna tell them what kind of paint to get. Okay, so we're not doing gloss, we're not doing semi-gloss.
Right.
Gloss and semi-gloss will show every imperfection on the wall. A flat paint or an eggshell will make those things not so noticeable. Okay, all right, your husband does this stuff. So he went to Lowe's, well, I don't think it was Lowe's, I think it was Home Depot back then. I'm showing my age here. So he goes to Home Depot and he goes to the paint section. And he was so proud of himself, he picked out a nice bright yellow gloss color. That you walk into and you go, holy cow, where's my sunglasses? Okay, he had to repaint it. Okay, so.
How
I
did you
learned-
break that news to him?
Huh?
How did you break that news to him?
It's too bright, you repaint it.
I went, yeah, no. What percentage did we get this color? What was on sale?
Right.
Oh, well, sorry, bud.
Yeah, because see, they mark down paint that clearance paint out, and it's like really cheap, because if I find a good color, I'll buy it and keep it on hand, because we redo houses sometimes and sell them. So yeah,
I also remind the
you
seller,
can't get a good deal on it,
yeah, you can, and that's okay if you're gonna live in it,
or if it's a decent color.
and you want that color.
Right.
But I will say that you wanna go over to Sherwin-Williams. You wanna get the swatches. And you want to tell them exactly what color to get, okay?
Oh, right, okay, yeah, get your
Yes.
samples and give it to them and say, use this
Yes.
right here.
Makes it.
Otherwise, because you told me you wanted a white or an
No.
off-white eggshell, or
and he didn't follow instructions,
right, so you hadn't got
so he
it.
had to paint it again. You also want to remind them that they are not doing this for them. They're doing this to sell the house, okay? Little story about my daughter. My daughter was getting ready to sell her house. In the Waldo area, and they were moving over to Lee Summit, and I know some of you guys don't know anything about that. So anyway, she had a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. And she was gonna get rid of it, and when she bought the house, she put in some flooring in the basement. The basement wasn't finished, she kind of went in and kind of finished it. And the flooring was kind of peeling up. She got that laminate floor that you can, and the top layer was kind of peeling off the top of it, because she had lived there for quite a few years. And so I said, you're gonna have to replace this floor. Okay, well, she started going out and looking at the, top of the line. Whatever it is, vinyl flooring. Okay,
What she would want.
what she would want. And I said, Cloris, what are you doing? I need you to take off your emotional, I'm attached to this house hat. And I need you to put on your real estate hat. We are not spending that kind of money on the floor. We are gonna go over to Lowe's. We are going to pick, not the bottom of the line carpet, but we're going to pick a step up from that. And that's what we're gonna put down. But mom, no but moms, we need it to look good. That's what we need. And if the people walk in and they decide to move in and 2 years later, they gotta replace the carpet, so be it. Okay, so keep that in mind as you are working with sellers, okay? We are not doing something for them to stay there. Okay, we are doing something for it to look good and get it on the market and get it sold. Okay, neutrals are the way to go. I'll be so glad when gray goes out of style.
Well, reds are back in, this is for 2025, honey, so get ready.
What's back in?
Reds,
Reds.
reds.
Okay. As an accent, well,
I've seen people painting their
About
entire
full
room,
rooms.
ceiling,
Yeah.
floor, everything like a deep red. It looked really pretty, but
Yeah.
it's dark. Yeah, it is.
yeah, but, and that's cool when you're
It
gonna
is.
live
Yeah,
there.
exactly, when it's your house,
Yeah,
totally.
but before they put their house on the market,
Mhm.
we need to.
Yeah, you don't know the age or the background or anything to do with whoever's gonna be buying it, so.
Mhm.
That's when they get painted again after they buy it.
Exactly.
Okay, so on page 14, you've got, some questions that you can go through, okay? KW has listing packets. You do want to have listing packet for when you go on listings, okay? One, if you're new, it keeps you on track. You know what to talk about, you don't get out of sync, it keeps you moving forward. So you don't go blah, 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 da, 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 yeah, 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 okay? So, you don't wanna do that, okay? So you do wanna have a pre-listing packet, those are available in KW Connect. If you can't find it, let me know. Because I actually have them downloaded in my email and I will send them to you. I have a buyer packet and I have a listing packet. The really cool thing about the listing packet, please don't try to reinvent the wheel. We've already invented the wheel. And you can go in and personalize it for yourself. You can go in and take stuff out, add stuff in. It is in a Microsoft PowerPoint. And you can put your picture in there, you can do all of those things, okay? That will keep you on track as you go on these listing appointments, okay? The other thing that I will say is everybody has their scripts, right? You wanna learn those listing scripts. And I know I talked about scripts the other day, but I don't know if I told you guys this story. When I first started out, my conversion rate on listing appointments was about 45%. So for every listing appointment that I went on, I only converted 45% of those listings. That's a horrible number. Okay. And then I did Bold. And back in the day of Bold, they would give us these little round things. And in your car, it had this little thing in the car that you could put the round thing in. Okay, called a CD. I'm so bad.
At least it wouldn't have said or an 8-track, I mean.
So, and it had scripts on it. And in these scripts, there was Diana Kokoska and Tony DeSello. Diana Kokoska is the one that came up with Bold. She is also the one that started Max Coaching, just for a little bit of that information. And Tony is her husband, okay? They are top producers, we're top producers. Diana used to go around, you know, she was freshly divorced, had 2 small children. She would work her neighborhood, she would put her children in a wagon, and she would walk around the neighborhood and knock on doors. That's how she started her business, okay? And so they were doing a listing presentation. Did we get any scripts when you did both? I don't know if we did or not.
I think so.
Okay. And they probably drop a link now. So when I was on my way to a listing appointment, I would pop this CD in and I would listen to them go back and forth. And she would go through the scripts, okay? And he would give her the responses. And I would practice them. And as I went into my listing appointments, I would start using some of these scripts. Subliminal messages,
Right.
language of sales is what she used. And I would start using them. And my conversion rate went from 45% to 90%. Okay, so scripts work. If you need scripts, I got books out there. Just outside of here, we have all the scripts for sellers, everything and anything you could ever want for sellers. Don't remove the books from the office, please. I paid out of my own pocket for those books. But those, you can make as many copies as you want to use, okay, to do the scripts. So you are gonna want a listing packet.
I sent you an email requesting those, so that way we wouldn't forget.
Okay. And if you guys wanna do that real quick,
That's what I was
monicaspenner@kw.com.
Cause I thought we'll forget.
Yeah, and I will tell you, that's the best way to do something with me. If you call me at 7 o'clock at night and say I need you to, chances are I'm gonna say, please send me an email. And then when I see it, when I get here the next morning, I will remember, because I'm getting up there in years and a lot of things happen, and I forget things. And then at 3 o'clock in the morning, the next day, I'll lay in bed and go, I don't, yeah, I'm supposed to. Okay, so on page 17, it kind of goes through, these are some of the things that you're going to need to do to your house to get it ready. Okay, now remember that you want to let them know what the next step is as they go through it. So there's a few things on getting ready to do it. Sometimes we don't always want to be the bad guy, you know, that they just went in and banned that red dye.
I know.
In your liquid.
I know, as long as it tastes the same though, I'm okay, I don't care what color it's dyed. Same thing with this,
Yeah, that's not good.
I'm
for
glad
you.
they probably took.
so it'd be good for me. If they
It'll
do,
be better for you.
because I'm hooked on this stuff.
Okay, so you wanna go through and look at this, come up with maybe a checklist of. These are the things, and you can also find this pre-listing packet on Connect. I don't have this one downloaded. I actually have the listing packet downloaded and the buyer packet downloaded. Okay. And it's, the more information that you can give your sellers up front, the better off you're gonna be. The easier it's going to be. I am a over communicator versus an under communicator. I will try to tell you everything about the process so that doesn't come to a surprise later on down the road and they go, well, you didn't tell me that. Okay, so you want to over communicate. I will also say that as realtors, sometimes we get excited and we tend to promise things that we're going to do, that we're not going to be able to do in the time that we told them to do it, that we were going to do it. So I always tell everybody, under promise and over deliver. Okay, so if you tell somebody, I'm gonna send you an email tonight by 7 o'clock, you better make sure that you send an email by tonight at 7 o'clock. This is not a 7 o'clock the next day. Okay, people get discouraged. That's why listing agents lose clients. That's why buyers agents lose clients. Is because they overpromise and underdeliver. Okay. So keep that in mind as you go through this stuff. Okay, get ready to sell. I will say, that when you show up and you get ready to list the house, you show up for your listing appointment and you've got your listing packet and you've done your comps. When you do your comps, do keep in mind that we're gonna throw out the top number, we're gonna throw out the bottom number. Never ever give them a number over the phone. When they call you and say, how much is my house worth, unless you have been in the house, do not give them a price.
Okay, messed up on that one too. But they're friends of mine, and okay, I have been in their house previously. Is that
So
count?
you do what it looks like.
Oh, yes.
Okay. But if you've never been in the house, do not give them a price. And the script is really easy. I can't give you a price until I have a look at the house. I need to come over and take a look at the house. When are you available? You're gonna want to give them 2 options on time. I have 1 o'clock and I have 3 o'clock, which time works better for you? Okay, so always give them an option, 2 different times, okay? So we are going to get comps. Any active house that is in the neighborhood, we are going to go look at. We're gonna preview the house. Okay, we're just gonna let the listing agent know that we're going to take a preview of the house. It's okay to preview a house.
Even if it means, even if it's occupied.
If I'm getting ready to do a listing and I'm 90% sure I'm gonna get that listing, I'm gonna go inside
Okay,
and I'm gonna take a look at it
okay,
to see, because that way I can do a comparison when I actually get in the house.
Right.
Now, the reason that I tell you guys, not to give them a price over the phone, I might give them a range.
Yeah.
Okay, I might say, well, houses in your neighborhood sell for 300,000 to 500,000. That's a pretty big range. But I'll hold the comps up for that neighborhood. And then I might give them a range, but I'm not gonna give them a price. I can't give you a price on what I think you can sell it for until I actually come in and look at the house. When you get there, okay, you're gonna have your CMA. You're gonna do all your homework on it, okay? We're gonna creep on these sellers. We're gonna get as much information as we possibly can on this house. And one of the ways to do that is, we have these really cool things that we have access to. And it's called the CRS tax info. So if you go in and pull up a house, if it's ever sold before, I wanna know. I wanna know what it sell for in 2017. And 19 and 21 and yada, 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 okay, so on and so forth. But I'm also going to go in and I'm gonna go into the CRS tax info. And this is gonna pull up information. One of the things that you do wanna do with all the fraud that's going on right now, verify. Yeah. Please make sure that the person that you're talking to that wants to list the house actually owns the house. Seriously.
Because you know what, their minds are just thinking all the time of what they can do to screw somebody over, I think.
Oh, it's horrible.
They have nothing else to do but just think of ways.
Okay, so some of the things that you will find in the CRS tax info is, of course, we're gonna see who owns the house. You need to know school districts for the MLS. It's gonna tell you, you know, what the taxes are, what the subdivision is, what county it is, how many square feet it has. And then we'll get down to the good stuff. This is actually the sales history of the property. So you can see that we sold it to that guy. Funny story. We sold this guy this house. Patrick Ball. Guess where his house is now?
Right next door to you.
2 doors up.
oh, really?
He followed you.
That's pretty fun.
Stalker.
Okay, so you can see what's going on with the house, okay? You can also go in and, you know, see the tax assessment, what the taxes were, what their taxes are. Because if you're gonna do a seller net sheet, you need to know what the taxes are. You can also see if there's a mortgage on the house. It won't tell you what the payoff is. But you can kind of back into it if you want to.
Yeah, I stumbled across that, I'm trying to remember how.
Well, I usually go onto the mortgage calculator and I dump in some numbers.
Right, right.
Based on when they started it,
I
what
stumbled
the
across
probable
that,
interest
Joe,
rate would have
and
been.
maybe it wasn't on, maybe it was on.
But you can kind of figure out what they owe on it. Okay, so the people that are selling the house right now pay cash for it. They don't have one on the house.
because there's no mortgage listed for them.
No mortgage listed for them. And if I go back and look at the MLS sheet, that probably says that it's sold for cash.
Right.
Okay.
Where does it give you that information at? It tells you that on the MLS sheets when it's sold, they have how it's sold, if it's conventional or.
If they
Cash.
disclosed it, yeah, it'll tell you.
So Down
Okay,
here.
the bottom, okay,
down here at the bottom.
yeah,
Sold price, financing, conventional. Now that was when
right,
he sold the house.
right.
Okay, but if you go back and Cash. Okay. So we want to know as much information about this property as we can before we walk in the door. Okay, and I've had sellers go, oh my God, how'd you know that? That's my job. That's my job, to know everything there is to know about your
We
property.
have ways of making.
We have
ways of making you talk.
Yeah.
But so my question is about the CMA portion of this whole process, because we don't live in, we're not in Springfield where there's cookie cutter houses and, 5 of them have sold in the last 6 months within a half a mile. We live in Stone County where every house is absolutely completely different. This one might be on 10 acres and this one's on 25 acres. And, I have no clue. I don't feel confident about that process at all.
No, I'm trying to get there, if I can shut up long enough to,
Okay, all right.
if I can quit talking. We are supposed to talk about.
That is
savings.
on my heart, so.
And I will say this, I have agents who have been in this office for 5 or 6 years already. Okay, one in particular. And every time she gets ready to go get a listing, she comes in and I verify her CMA for her. Okay. So if you are in doubt about what a house should be listed for, come see me. Okay. I try to find something that is as close to the property as I can get. I also, normally an appraiser, most appraisers, will not go more than 3 miles from the property.
Okay.
I say most. Okay. Because we did a HELOC on ours and he used properties from Eagle Rock, Missouri, so I'm like, wow.
That's.
Didn't put that we were on lakefront, didn't put that we had a lake. We didn't. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway. I almost came out of my skin when I actually got the appraisal.
And you still wanna fix it, right? But your husband won't like it,
Yes.
because it doesn't matter. Because he says it doesn't matter, but still, it's the whole point of it.
The principal. Yeah.
But you wanna call the appraiser and go, what in the world are you thinking?
What were you drinking that?
I mean, you're
How long
only
have you
off
been- how long
by
have you been doing this?
$300,000.
How long have you been doing this, right?
Yeah, how long have you been doing this? And you put your certification on there, really? Okay. Oh, and she's like recording all this.
Yeah, because you're live.
Okay, so as far as CMAs go, here's what I'll
You're
say.
at a lot.
An appraiser will not go more than 3 miles out normally, so I'm gonna stay within those 3 miles. Normally I start with the subdivision,
But if it's rural and not in a subdivision,
then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go with 3 miles out.
okay,
I am going to put ranges of information in.
okay,
Okay, so if I am looking at a 10-acre property, I'm probably going to look at anything that might have 7 acres to 13 acres.
okay,
Okay, you can figure out what those acres
yeah,
are worth. Sometimes I will go in and I will do a land listing to find out what the acreage is worth. How much are we selling per acre?
right.
Okay, what's it selling for per acre? So that I can then make adjustments for that. I also look at square footage of properties and condition of properties.
What about age?
Yeah, I do that too, but sometimes it is what it is and you gotta go with what you're getting. Okay, and I'm trying to get as close to what I'm looking at, as I can.
And if it's been totally remodeled, does that have as big an effect on it as if it wasn't? Like,
Oh, well,
if it's
yeah.
like everything's been updated.
That's condition of property.
Right.
You know, so, and I tell people that. You
Yeah.
know, when I talk to them on the phone, well, I can't give you a price, I don't know, I don't know what you've done to your property. Well, we just updated it. Okay, no, I'm saying this. Everybody's version of updating, and when they
Yes,
did it,
different.
it's 2 different stories, okay? So, you know, you might be talking to an 80-year-old person that updated the property back in 1978. And they're gonna tell you, well, we updated it.
Or they might have updated it with crappy stuff or low grade stuff, cheap
Yeah.
stuff.
Back to the mom and
So-
or screen.
So there could be a big difference between finished basements.
And the rule of thumb on that is you always want to stay with the mid-grade, right? Not the cheapest, but not the most expensive, but the mid-range on remodeling.
Normally,
Up there, yeah.
Yeah.
For a resale purpose, right?
well, I don't know,
I think that's what, and the estimators, I think that's where it shows, usually that's where you make the most profit, is if you do mid, the medium range instead of the low range or the high range.
And only
That's the
facts,
price of the house.
I mean, just in the calculators that you go online, it says how much more if you did your kitchen, and then they'll say, are you gonna use premium or, low grade or mid grade? And
And
then if you
also,
look at those three different prices, the mid range is where you make the most profit over what you spend.
if I'm flipping,
If you're flipping, that's what I was talking about, sorry.
so if you're flipping, then yes.
but only back 12 months on the closed.
I will start with 6 months,
Okay,
and then if I need to add, I will add.
okay,
I wanna go with what the market is now.
right?
Okay, the
So
market-
6 months is a rule of thumb, right?
Yeah. I
Is
usually
it better to
start-
go back further years or to go more distance out?
Okay, that didn't quite make sense.
Okay.
The radius.
Is it better to go make your radius
Or
bigger
go
or your
back
year,
more
or more,
years.
go back more years?
Go back more, you're not gonna go back to years, cause you won't be.
Or months, I mean, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry,
won't,
Time
go-
frame.
I probably am not gonna go more than 12 months.
right, a year.
Unless I'm talking about
Right.
rural and nothing is sold
Okay.
in the entire city, counties for years and years and years. Then I might go back further, but then I'm gonna make adjustments for the.
So it'd be better if you don't get much within the 6 months to a year to expand your radius than to get comps.
Um. Yeah, I might
You're
go
gonna
up to
get some-
5
you-
miles, but I'm not,
Yeah.
I am not.
You're probably
go-
gonna get enough, right? How many do you need?
You need 3 active, 3 pending, and 3 sold.
3 of each, that's what I thought.
That's what
Oh,
I prefer.
I like that.
Yeah, that's what I prefer. And active is your competition.
Right.
Pending means it was priced to get an offer.
Okay,
Okay,
Okay.
I have this price well enough to be able to get an offer.
So really, you only need 3 sold, and usually you can probably get them within the 6 month time frame.
but you're gonna drop the lowest and the highest and come with the 3 that are in the middle.
Yeah, usually, yeah.
Right, so.
I mean, if I go in and I go into this neighborhood and I see, $1 million house versus a $335,000 house, and I got a 225 in there, I'm gonna look at the listing. Okay, I'm gonna look at the 225. But I'm probably gonna throw it out.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at the million. But I'm probably gonna throw it out. Because most of the houses are probably in the $300,000 to $500,000 range, depending, are they lakefront, are they lakeview? Okay, if I got a lakefront house, I'm not trying to look at lakefront houses, because lakefront houses sell for more than lakeview houses. Okay, this property.
And down here, it even depends on which lake.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, and I really only talk about Table Rock, so I'm sorry if you want to talk about Taneycomo. That's not a lake, that's a river.
And it's cold.
And it's cold.
And it's dirty. It's only good for fishing.
So with making the CMAs, do you have like a specific class on helping you learn how to create a CMA and?
Yeah, and usually I will, we're actually.
Okay, okay.
But we got jumped in.
And
I don't know
so
when
we
you
are. And so,
And we are.
yeah, we are. And do we also go over, cause I'm like brand spanking new, but do we go over like how much to actually change on your CMAs, like when you're looking at?
Adjustments?
Yes,
Yes.
like, okay, great, cause the classes don't teach you anything about that. So when
Yeah,
you're getting a
no, I get it.
license.
And I was kind of hoping, normally I will split out a CMA class separate. And we may end up just making up the CMA class next week, because of the fact that it can be so, when you start going through. You get, okay, well, I'll do a CMA now.
It would be nice to do it like, to get the principals and then just randomly pick an address and just name. Yeah. That would be
You
really-
got one?
No,
Okay.
well, yeah, you could verify one that I've sort of already done, but we don't have to do that right now.
Well, I'm hearing I need to do CMA.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on, let me find it.
That's what I'm hearing. Am I hearing that I need to do
That would be
CMA?
great. That would be super.
Yeah, we're supposed to do
Let's
it.
just really get on.
So,
Oh,
well, no, it's actually part of the class.
No, it
It's the
is.
next
It's an important
section.
part.
We haven't gone through the whole listing presentation, but I'll get us there.
Well, and most of it's self-explanatory here, as I've been reading through it. It's kind of like, you don't have to talk about it. It's just kind of
Everybody on here?
common sense stuff. I like this part here about the questions that you ask them about what they're expecting out of an agent and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and what their experiences have been. That's really good. I like that.
Okay, so,
Okay, looking at her,
yeah,
796 Sunny Slope Drive.
Sunny Slope one, oh, there it is. Crane Mow. Okay. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is go in and see if it's ever been bought or sold. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm gonna do. And, oh, that's a pretty house.
Gorgeous.
796 Sunny Slope. And they bought it for $92.8 a square foot, which seems awfully low. Oh, this was a parent that went with the child. So I'm assuming that they were selling, we've got acreage with it.
Yeah, 27. I think, what they own.
We got 23.2 acres.
Oh, okay.
And we won't get into parent-childs today.
Right.
Okay. That'll probably be a
What is that?
separate
What is it?
conversation.
You have 40 acres, you have two houses on the 40 acres, one's on 20 and the other one's on 20, but it's the same owner, same
I
property.
see.
Or they may be, or I'm gonna
Or-
sell the house with 23 acres, or I'm gonna sell the house with
It's
5 acres.
pasture,
Right.
And then
right.
I'm gonna sell the rest of it, so the rest of it would be a child.
So the parent listing includes everything, but people can purchase only a portion of it, which would be the child.
Right.
Okay, so we have a total of 2,322 square feet. And this house was built in 2007. And you've been in the house?
Yes.
I like the
That's perfect.
stone.
Wow.
So really still have the pond and all that?
Yeah.
Cool.
Looks
Wow.
like slow price.
This is a Monica house.
Yeah, that's wow.
So here's the thing, it's way out in the middle of nowhere. You're on a gravel road for a mile.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a downfall.
Yeah.
Is it still painted this color?
No, the kitchen is not that color anymore.
Would they do the kitchen?
I think it's neutral. Like a
Didn't you
beige.
get new?
Did they paint the cabinets? Cabinets still oak?
Might be cream. It might be painting them a green color.
Okay.
White.
What's going on there? There's
She's
lots
she's like
going on
that.
there.
Got a coaching moment here real quick.
Don't take pictures like that and put them up.
A stool. Yes.
So what do y'all think of this picture?
So many.
Cluttered
Pretty busy.
countertops, cluttered top of the.
Okay, so,
Half that stuff, 3/4 of the stuff.
yeah. And I'm not so much talking about the decorations up there.
Mhm.
But This has got to go,
Yeah.
okay? This has got to go. That
It makes it
doesn't
seem smaller,
have
like it doesn't
a
have.
lot of counter
Right,
space
Right.
as it is.
Even smaller.
And you have now just cluttered up the counter space. And what I will tell you is less is more.
Mhm.
Okay, so, you know, I did ask you, did they paint?
They do.
Okay. The step stool doesn't need to be in that picture. You know, so, they need to, all of that crap's gotta go. And they got plenty of storage to put things.
Right.
Okay, they got lots of cabinets to get everything off the countertops. Okay, so less is more. Yeah, Christine knew what was going on. She's been in a couple of my classes before.
Look at that beautiful color snow.
That's
That's
cool.
I'm
But,
intrigued by.
we can't take this off at the top of it.
What is that?
It's a.
I don't know.
Oh, it's a griddle thing.
Yeah.
And then
there's
we got,
stuff on the counter.
what is that? That's like some kind of smiley thing and
It might be. the
And then we
cost.
got our cups on there and we got, yeah,
There's oil
anyway.
sitting back there.
You all, if you ever come in here, one of the first things I do in the morning when I come into work. Is I open up MLS and I start looking at the new stuff.
Oh, fun.
And you'll be somewhere in the office and you'll hear me go, oh my God. Do not do your sellers an injustice and put this out there. This goes on the internet forever. It does not go away. Right. So anyway. And I will say it again, not all real estate agents are created equal.
That's the truth.
Okay, we got skylights.
This house is kind of cool though.
No, it is a cool house. I like the house. Too much stuff on the bathroom counter, you know, way too much stuff on the bathroom counter. She's got way too much hair product going on.
Right.
Either her or him, I'm not sure which. What is that?
Yeah, I had a lot of.
Cool view. Okay.
But they still got a lot of stuff in there. Look at that. There's more.
All right.
And the toilet seat open is a pet peeve of mine.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my goodness. Somebody-
So that tells me that this was not a professional photographer
Right.
that took these pictures. This
Well,
tells me that,
Wasn't much of an agent either, was it?
look at the towels and the, oh, good Lord, and all the stuff in here.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that is a nice house.
That's-
Is everything on one
Gazebo,
floor?
I love that. gazebo.
They have a partial basement, but yeah. other than that.
Because that house looks bigger than 2,300 square
I
feet.
know.
They might be included a little bit in the basement, but
Okay.
I think that's an accurate figure.
Well, look at that view. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Covered. She's got, look at those. She's got irises. Oh,
Look at that.
wisteria.
beautiful.
I love wisteria.
Oh, that's pretty. Okay. So this house is in Crane. And we're gonna go map it so I can see where it is. Oh, it's at the end of a road even.
Yes.
That's even.
It's 6 towards Galena, and then you may go right off that. Actually past Galena, on the west side of Galena, you may go right.
Okay, so we're north of Galena. Out here in the middle of nowhere. Okay. So it's got a Crane address. And we got 23 acres. So we're gonna go in and we're gonna change this to pending and closed. I'm gonna change my
I'm probably not gonna change my sold date to 6 months. Just because it's on 23 acres and it's in the middle of nowhere. And then I'm gonna go down here to Stone County. We're gonna do a property subtype. We're gonna do a single family. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna type in Stone. I'm gonna pick Stone, maybe. Thank you. And we're gonna go down to acreage. Where's my lot size? Lot. And I'm gonna pick out lot. And I'm gonna put 15 to 30. Okay, and that's gonna take me down to this.
11
Do what?
11 properties right now.
11. And so, and yeah, and sometimes we're not gonna get exactly, now you guys notice, I didn't put any bedrooms in. I didn't put any bathrooms in.
So it's just.
This is a
narrowed
tough,
down
it's gonna be a
further.
tough one.
That's what I'm saying.
So I didn't put, I go all out generic at first. Now, if I would have got 250 properties, then I would have started putting in more information. But I start like this. And then I come in like this. How close is this to First String County?
I don't think it's super close.
Okay, so I got Crane.
What county is it in?
It's in Stone.
So,
So my house is up here. Okay. So I'm gonna start with this one right here that's active. And it's on the market for $285,000. This is probably not going to be something that I'm going to look at. One, it's only 1,400 square feet. So if you're gonna do anything with it, it's listed at $192 a square foot. So I'm not gonna use that comp unless I absolutely have to. Because of the fact that I'm gonna have to add 1,000 square feet
Right,
at $192.
right.
Okay, anybody got a calculator? What's 192 times 1,000? That's 192,000
$192,000.
On top of 285.
But how many acres is this puppy on?
That'd be 17.
This puppy's gonna be on 17.5 acres.
You also have to add on
For
the
acreage.
acreage.
And when you start getting, I don't mean to sound like the extra 5 acres isn't a lot. Once you start getting rid of the 15 acres, up to 40, yeah, okay, I mean, it's, yeah, there's some extra that goes in it. I'm assuming that this acreage around this area probably sells for $15,000 to $20,000 an acre. Am I close?
I wouldn't know.
Okay.
I
would
think that's high.
Yeah, and it might be. So I don't know that 5 acres is gonna make or break this list first. I'm within range.
If you're saying 15 to 20, that could be $100,000 difference. But I think that's really high. I want to say 5 to 7 though.
Yeah,
When you're talking about out in the middle of nowhere,
yeah, but I just added $195,000
to the square footage,
to the 285.
right? which
Now,
makes
keep
it-
in mind, the 285 price
Mhm.
includes all that acreage.
Right,
So, sometimes I'm gonna tell you not to get too caught up on the acreage
okay,
if you're within
okay,
where you need to be.
right,
Okay.
that's fair.
So everybody wrote down 2, 4, where am I at? 485, I'm at 475.
Okay,
Yeah, I kinda like that number. So, but this one's on the market for $192.57 a square foot. Okay. What's this gonna do for me? Okay, so that's my competition right there. Then I got this one that's also active. And it's on the market for $744,000. And this property has, ooh, 2,315 acres or square feet. It was built in 2001. Okay, we're in the same decade.
Doesn't have near the curb appeal though, does it?
Well, yeah, they need some shrubs. The approximate lot size is 25 acres.
Wow.
That's a comp.
Right there.
Okay, so.
It's also way more than $485,000,
Well, it's active, it's not sold.
right?
Okay. And how many days has it been on the
I
market?
don't know.
So. Appraiser contact info. Really? You already have appraiser on it?
Right?
They
So
probably-
paid for an appraiser
They
because
probably
they
have
probably got
it
him in the
appraised,
pocket.
so they would know what listed at.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you it's overpriced
Yeah.
based on this comment right here. It says seller offering $10,000 in concessions towards closing cost and or rate buy down.
Does it have outbuildings or something? Why is it?
The 2-car garage at all.
It's priced at $321 a square foot. Yeah,
You don't see that very much.
it's overpriced.
Are they offering a big commission to an agent and bring a buyer?
And it's been on the market 87 days. And of course, I'm gonna have to go into the history. And I don't know what the,
Wow.
what?
It's going up.
Does it have 3 active?
Because they're dividing up maybe the property, no?
Yeah, they're probably trying
They're
to,
trying to
this
divide it
is,
Sister, parent, or mother, daughter, or whatever you guys call it.
Parent child.
Parent, child. There you go.
that was awesome.
That's
Okay, so. So they got the house listed, they started out at 749. And they took it down $5,000. A month later, so a point 7.
That are active.
For 544.
That are active, that show they're active. Is that without the land?
Well, sometimes we associate the wrong ones. No, she's got it.
5 acres.
So
Yeah.
she's got it with 5 acres.
I was gonna say, it seems like it would bring more if you divided it up, when you
Okay.
got that much property, maybe.
So
divide
with
it up,
5 acres, they're listing it at 544.
Which is
Yes.
still too high.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. Because we came up with 475.
How much?
Right.
Oh, wait, they're
was
listed for
that?
how much then?
Fine.
I can't read it.
591.
What?
594, okay.
594.
So this is at 256 a square foot. With all the 25 acres, it's 321. And 321 is too high. Okay, we're not even getting 321 anymore for,
So that's happening because of the land that's involved there, and they don't account for that in the pricing, they just put how big your house is and they put that in there.
yes.
Okay, now I get it, that makes sense, more sense to me.
Okay. So now we're gonna,
100 acres be really high per square foot.
what else do I got here? Okay, so I looked at that one. And I looked at that. So I've looked at both of the closed properties or active properties. Okay, so now we're gonna go look at the pending properties. And it looks like this one right here is like really close to it, to the house. Okay, so, and this one sold for 440. It closed in October for 440. And it's got 2,400 square feet. And we have 21 acres and it's priced at 187 a square foot. So I'm seeing a commonality here, 187, 192. Are you guys following that?
Oh, the 192 from the very first.
That's the one that's for
That
sale.
was the first one.
Yeah,
not
not
the-
the first sale, right? Yes.
I just took that 744 and I blew it out,
Yeah.
cause it's
No, I agree.
overpriced. But I'm gonna say that it's in my back pocket, because your neighbor, your sellers are gonna go, yeah, but his house down there's on the market.
Right.
And he's got it listed for $750,000. And my comment back is, and it's not selling.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Do you wanna sell it? Or do you wanna hang on to it?
right.
What's our motivating factor? Why are we moving? Oh, this is too much for you to take care of. How long do you wanna hold on to it?
I hear you.
Okay.
Summer's coming. you
So,
gotta cut the
but we
grass.
didn't look at any other specifics on this property other than square footage and acreage.
Well, I'm trying to get comparison as to where they're at,
Price per foot.
Okay,
per
but-
square foot.
you know. Now I'll go in and we'll look at the pictures to see what's going on. It does have outbuildings. Several of them. Okay, I get it. It's brick. Doesn't quite have the curb appeal. Based on what I saw from the front. Oh, it's not brick, it's rock. Oh, check this out.
It's great, it's very big.
Oh, I think I've been in this house. I've
It-
literally been in this house.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I've been in this house. It's actually needs just a lot of help.
Yeah.
It's what?
It needs a lot of help.
Well, I can see that.
I'm interested to see that it's sold.
Well, they're gonna go in and rehab the house. Okay, somebody wanted the acreage. And the husband promised the wife that he was gonna go in and dump a bunch of money in it. So that he could have those two outbuildings that he wants.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. She gets a new kitchen and a new bathroom, and he gets that building.
Oh, she gets carpet,
She's got
she
a good one.
gets,
Oh, yeah. And I was looking at it with a young couple. They're looking at, trying to get into their forever home, and they're willing to do some work, but this was too much for them.
oh yeah, this is a lot of
And at the
work.
top of their price range.
Yeah, this is a lot of work. Okay,
So.
so it sold for $440,000,
180 something square.
180 something a square foot. But our house is nicer.
But
Okay. This one sold for $340,000. And it's smaller. Well, it's 2366. It's 170 a square foot. Is pretty plain Jane. Oh, and it's got solar panels.
how do you deal with that?
Oh,
Go home,
it's,
run away, run away.
It depends.
It depends on who you're buying.
Right, exactly. It totally depends. Some people want it. some
Well, the people selling
don't.
usually want a whole bunch more for.
so normally they will have a loan.
Yeah, they
on
got
the
the
solar
panels,
panels.
so you gotta
Yeah.
compensate that.
And usually the solar panels are not tied to the mortgage or the house. It is a separate loan. So if the buyer is unwilling to pay for those solar panels and take over the loan for those solar panels, the seller's gonna be SOL. I can tell you that we had an agent in the office, he sold a house, I don't know what this woman was thinking. But she had, an $80,000 plus loan on solar panels. Okay, which is
Right.
it's gonna take you 100 years to pay for.
Right.
Uh,
And it doesn't increase the value of your property, $80,000. I'm
No,
sorry, but it
no,
just
it
doesn't.
does not.
It might lower your electric bill, but that's all it does.
Well, you're looking
For
for
how
a
long?
place.
Right.
So the buyer did not want to take over the loan, so she had to eat it, the seller.
And so
she
did she
had to
leave them
get out
on?
of the house.
Did she leave the panels on?
Yeah, you can't take them all.
So they got them for free.
Yeah. But they
You
weren't,
might say, because it doesn't increase the value of your home, does it?
mm-mm.
You can't factor it in.
Okay, so this house sold for, what did I say, 170? Okay. It has no appeal to me.
They probably had $70,000 worth of solar on it.
This house sold for. Oh, this is, throw this out. It sold for $155,000. What's going on there? That's not the same picture.
Yeah, something's messed up with it.
This is just
Maybe
land.
it's just property that's
Maybe it's
taxed
raw.
down or something.
Yeah, that's just raw land. Okay, so you want to do the math real quick? 155,000 divided by 19. Ooh, I'm gonna be really close. I just want you to know.
You've already figured it out.
8,157. How much? 8,157.
Oh, I wasn't really close.
Oh, I know.
Under $8,000.
Okay.
I thought I was close. My
Oh,
my
your
math is
square
bad
foot,
today.
okay. That's right. I thought you were talking about under estimate.
Yeah, I said 15. I was off.
Yeah, you said, yeah, 15.
And that's why we do comps. Okay, here we go. They're selling some acreage. The actual house closed for 390.
Okay.
And 2976, $134 a square foot, 420 acres. But this house is gonna be dated. I can tell just by looking at it, and it doesn't have the curb appeal. Does have an outbuilding,
How many acres was the house?
20. Got a chicken coop.
Hobby farm stuff.
Well,
It's got a nice garden.
okay, all these pictures that I have not got on the inside of the house. I just want to say this, okay? I can tell you, yes, guys, go look at a house. They get on Zillow, they start looking for houses they want. The females are the ones that make the decision if they're married. Don't make a female look at 35 pictures of the outside of the house before you get to the kitchen.
Right.
Because you just lost her interest.
It depends on the female, because I would totally dig this. I could care less about the kitchen. I'm an outdoorsy girl.
Okay, well,
But overall,
kitchen
women
was
want it, they
best.
want to get to what's important to
I
them.
do think that.
And we're still looking at land and stuff.
what is this? What is that? Is that's like where you go if there's a tornado?
Where you put bodies.
I mean, I still haven't got in. We're still not in the house. The deck needs work
Nice, and I wouldn't have put that picture.
and the inside of the house is, oh, awesome.
For him.
Are you being serious? What is
I
that?
just got a picture of it. What was the whole point of
A
that?
bunch of doors.
Like, what was the point of that, I wonder?
Don't put pictures like this on your, just because a photographer sends you a picture does not mean you have to put it on the MLS.
No, I made him go back out.
Do you think that was a photographer
Put the
that did
toilet
that?
seat down and take a picture.
No, I think it was,
That
and it
picture?
had paneling at one time, just so you know.
Well, it still does, it's just got painted paneling. What is that? Oh, is that the
When was
stairs or
this
the bookcase?
built? This is why I do CMAs as just one class.
1976.
Okay, so anyway,
It looks
we're
like-
throwing this one out. It's not even worth putting out there.
So are we any closer to a price for Sunny's Little Drive?
I'm getting there.
You gotta do your job, work, you gotta do the diligence.
Okay, this one sold for 430. It is 2624 all up.
Got it there, in that area, oh, you put in the square footage, didn't you?
no, I did not.
I already said they're all kind of the same square footage, aren't they?
Interesting.
Now I will say, here's the big difference between the house you have
In these houses. Your house is basically one level with a little bit underneath. Your house is gonna be more desirable than the rest of them. Okay.
And it's a lot prettier, that yard and all.
Okay, so we got $171 a square foot. Oh, it does have. I saw granite in here, stainless steel appliances, granite countertops.
How many acres?
It has 18.2.
And is this one closed? It is closed.
Yeah,
This one closed. Yeah, I'm just looking at closed properties right now. And when was it built? No, this one was built.
have a little basement.
Oh, it was built in 1979, but they updated it.
You to go if it storms or gets bad, but you don't have to do all this.
Well,
It's got a gravel road to get
That's
to
the
it.
drive.
That's, yeah.
You ever got the inside of the house?
It looks a lot smaller. Oh, it's updated. It is updated.
yeah.
Impossible to keep cleaned white.
They did a pretty good job though. They must have just painted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just painted it upstairs. You know, they're selling it.
How much did you say that one sold for?
470?
What-
No, 430. Okay.
Okay. So my expertise. My expertise is gonna tell me that you're gonna price this house at $215 a square foot.
And it feels like you just pulled that out of the air.
Yeah.
It's called the gift.
I guess, no, it's
So-
our experience and everything, but I don't want that.
But we have money.
Okay, so tell me, do you, other than pulling it out of the air, how did you get there?
Okay, so we went and looked at every closed house.
Right,
And how much they was per square foot.
And I came up with a per square foot price.
right.
Okay.
Mhm.
My highest per square foot was $192.74.
Yes, it was.
Okay. And the house that you're selling had more appeal,
Sure.
okay?
Mhm.
The fact that everything's on one level,
Mhm.
the fact that it's charming
Mhm.
and it's open,
Mhm.
and it's a newer property. Is going to account for additional,
Mhm.
okay?
All right.
So the house, that house at $197 a square foot,
Does not compare to, what was the first one I pulled up?
That was 300 and some square foot.
Boston Mountain. And then there's Buckeye Lane that was way overpriced.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that one, and I'm not using that one.
Not at
Because
all, not even.
I know that it's overpriced,
Okay,
Okay.
like if you use 215 for Sunny Slope. And that one was priced at 321, you're a full $100 per square foot less.
What are we doing?
So the overpriced one was 321 per square foot.
Right.
Yeah.
So at 215, you're over $100 per square foot less.
Yeah.
And that's okay, that's how much overpriced it is?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. That's fair. 215.
So we got 23, 22.
Okay, well, I was pretty high then, when I told them a range, I told them too high.
215. Yeah, so that's 499, 230.
What'd you tell them?
And I didn't, these properties were not the ones I looked at, I went a little, because to me, I don't remember, and I'm trying to see if I have notes from when I did this, but
So what?
I think I went farther out.
Okay.
I had an appraisal from them, where a guy had, the appraiser had gone all the way over to Ozark to find property.
Yeah,
And it's several years old, so I'm not using it, but
well, it's price.
it's gonna be in my email.
What number did you give her?
I gave them 580 to 650.
I could see the 580.
He said,
Yeah.
he said 495
Oh, well, there's.
on September of 21.
That was 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was right before things creeped up. wasn't it?
5.
yeah.
I bet you could get that.
At a 3% increase in. Some like he
In
said,
3 years.
increase.
So that would be a 9% increase
Well, it's 3%
per year.
per year. Yeah. I'm not saying just go in and do 100%.
Oh, I see.
Right, you
So
gotta do it
495 times 3.
1.03,
and then-
1.03.
Okay.
So you're pretty close. Maybe you can put it on at 650 and see what happens.
Right.
You gave him the 650 number.
I gave him 580 to
580,
650.
580 to 650.
I said, and to get closer, we would really need to go, look more specifically at the features of your house. I need to get in and look again at
Yeah.
condition.
Okay.
And then we would need to look at comps and.
You don't have pictures of the inside. do you?
No,
Once you've been in
they're friends of mine, so I've been in it.
Oh,
a couple
it. Okay.
times.
So here's what I'm gonna say. The one question that I do ask before I start doing comps, how much do you want for it?
Exactly.
Okay, because sometimes what we're doing is we're just justifying the price that they want. Not just, I'm gonna go out there and say, and if they came back and told me, well, we want 350 for it. I got good news for you.
Right.
Right, and you look awesome.
Right.
Now, if they came in and said, I want $1 million, not gonna happen.
Well, and my problem is they wanna sell it themselves because they wanna save realtor fees. Because it
Everybody
ends up
wants to
on
be-
580, it ends up being like $34,000, and so they're like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to convince them to go with a realtor, but in order to do that, I'd have to go even higher than 580. In order to say like, but if you walked away with 580, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. So what's 580 times 1.06? Cause that's your commission. Kind of.
Because they're still gonna have to pay the,
615 rounded.
they're still gonna have to pay the commission to the buyer. The buyer's agent.
If
Well,
they'll
that
take-
depends on how they sell it.
Right, yeah.
That's only if they do.
But it's gonna make it really tricky to sell like that, though. It's
Well,
not
out
gonna be
there
as
in
easy
the
as they think.
boonies,
Mhm.
you're not gonna get it.
For sale by under, nobody's gonna be driving by at this
Right,
price.
it's gonna be pretty tricky to sell.
I mean,
Yeah, so
how are they
out
gonna
there.
market it?
One, I'm assuming if you have to drive down a big long gravel road, you can't even see the house.
You have to drive up a big long gravel road, that's the other thing, so in the winter time, getting up and
You
down.
get down.
So my prediction here, what's gonna happen is they're gonna try to sell it by themselves, or this is what I would do. Let them try to sell it by themselves and find out that they're not gonna sell it by themselves for no six, whatever they thought, or however much. And then they're gonna come to you and go, okay, maybe you will make us some money, maybe we do need you to make us money. Cause they're probably not gonna get any offers up on it, and
How are they? gonna
Well,
go
I'm
on?
just glad to know that my price isn't ridiculously far off. Okay. That's what I needed to know.
And that's without me being in it
Right.
and looking at it and,
Right.
I mean, there is a little
looking,
update.
looking at those numbers.
Uh-huh.
Now, if I would have known that they had an appraisal back in 2021,
I'm sorry.
they came in and said 495, I would have known that I was,
Mhm.
we were about 5,
Mhm.
for sure.
Right, okay. That's
So,
fair.
my comment to them would be, try to go ahead and sell it until March 1st.
Mm.
If you don't sell it by March 1st, if you don't have any butters, you don't have any activity. Let's go ahead and. get it there in December 2025. So let's see if we can find.
Yes.
Slowly
Yeah.
mark it on for
Yeah.
120 days.
Mhm.
I'll do a listing agreement for 120 days.
Mhm.
If we don't get any bites, you can go sell it yourself.
Right. Okay. I like it.
give me a chance.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna get what you want. At 625, you're gonna get more than you want.
Right.
Unless
sells,
you accept that, okay.
Yeah.
Trying to sell a house in the boonies. I don't know how many people drive down that area. You know, because it's not necessarily on the beaten path.
And it's in Crane, you know, it's not even, you know, a subdivision to a big city or anything, it's Crane, you know.
If the mailing address is Crane. but
Right.
that doesn't mean that.
But I mean, there's not even a big city, it looks to me like very close to it, is there?
Yeah, I mean, those cities are not.
But we don't.
And that's not a big city.
No, it's a very small city. Okay, so real quick on a CMA, okay, so I went and found the properties, we had 11 properties. And we know that, oh, what's that one, 3?
Right?
I didn't see that one. Um,
Well, the house itself.
Amazing. Phenomenal, a mansion.
Twice as big.
I can't see the square footage.
Squirrel.
What's the first square foot?
it sold for $300 a square foot.
Maybe that's where this
There you
other
go.
one is getting there.
But it's twice the size you said, I can't.
Look at that house, holy
5,200
Toledo.
square feet. Yeah.
It's probably not dated either.
Yeah, 5,200 square feet, that's like
That is.
several houses.
Yeah, I bet you it's 696. At 300 a square foot.
Yeah, well, we're
That's
not
what those
doing
other
that.
people must have been using to come up with that.
That's
It
what I'm
is.
saying, that's what the Buckeye Lane.
But now you can't really do that, can you, when it's twice the size? That's not even in the same
It's not a
ballpark, is
comp.
it?
It's not a. Yeah, look at that. Look
That's
at
why
that.
it's
Great.
bluffs.
It's all bluffs.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting.
Right?
There's a black
Well,
toilet.
For
Oh, really?
1.3.
Yeah. Oh.
I didn't miss the black toilet.
That'd be scary. Then you're like, what mildew and crap is this thing hiding? in its blood?
It sold for $248 a square foot.
That's.
Okay, so it didn't sell for 1.3, that's what it was listed
No, it's all for
It's good for-
1.5, it's at 1.5.
at. Oh, I see.
How much did I say? 248?
So that gets us to 575.8.
Yeah, there's your number. Yeah,
So I was kind of in there.
yeah.
Not bad for like practically my first time. Yeah.
So do keep in mind that when you talk to somebody and they tell you, you know, you need to ask them, what do you want for it? Okay, what do you want to sell your house for?
Mm.
And then are you able to maneuver your way to that number also? Okay, so they know what they want. They
Yeah.
always know what they want. Okay,
They want to be able to pay all their debt off. That's what they're looking for.
yeah, I get it. But it doesn't always work out that way, but, so anyway, to do a comp, I'm just gonna check them all for right now. So we're gonna pick out the listings that we want. And I checked them all. And then we are gonna go to the CMA button right here.
Okay, that's how.
And we are going to do, use all results, so you'll pick which results you want. So I'm gonna use all the results that I picked. And then you can pick a full CMA, a quick CMA, or statistical CMA. If you are dealing with an attorney, a programmer, an accountant, a detailed oriented type of person, you're probably gonna want a full CMA. Because they're gonna wanna see the statistics. If you are a high I personality, if they're, you know, I'm a people person, I like shiny objects, I don't really care about that part. Then we're probably just gonna do a quick CMA. Okay, for these
What's a
purposes,
statistical?
statistical is just the numbers. And in the full CMA, you'll have the statistical information. So we're gonna hit next. and you basically go through the different fields that are on here, okay? So you type in the address, whatever the address may be. You can put in the CMA date. You're also, and then you're gonna hit next. You can also hit the buttons up at the top, if you see that. So you're gonna have this information up at the top. You could put the address in. The really cool thing is I could go in and pull a photo down and I could load the photo up if I wanted to. I think I have a really cool photo on here. Sometimes. Oh no, I'm probably gonna have to do medium. Ooh, that's a cool picture. Let's look that one. Okay. So you can put a picture of the house. You can drive by and take a picture of the house, or you can pull it off the MLS. If it's been listed before, put the address in, city, state. You can put in how many bedrooms it has, how many bathrooms it has, total square feet, lot dimensions, number of buildings. You can fill all that information out. Once you fill that out, you can go to next. And it wants to map it. Where's my map? Manually locate. It says that it's there when it's not. It's actually kind of down here. So we're gonna drag our pin and we're gonna put it there. Did you guys see how I did that? Okay. And then we're gonna say next. I did this.
Because you did put it in.
You didn't
so
put-
I think
you
it's messing
didn't.
it up.
You gotta say use this location.
Why doesn't it not just know? I moved it.
Right.
Okay. And then here's the properties that are in my thing. And you can click next. And this is where you can start doing adjustments. We talked about adjustments. Okay. So this is.
How do you do the adjustments? I mean, how do you calculate? How do you know what to adjust?
Well, normally if I've got a property and I pulled a comp over and it's got, my property has 4 bedrooms and it had 3, I'm gonna add $10,000.
So it's 10,000 a bedroom? Yep.
Unless it's a master bedroom, yeah.
What's a master?
That's good to know.
What's a master bedroom? Sometimes you have 2 houses that have more masters. Oh, you're asking me how much for a master?
Yeah.
Okay.
10,000 regular bedroom.
That's okay.
I would probably, I mean, a master bedroom's gonna probably be about 15.
What's a bathroom gonna be?
Because sometimes, you might want to add a master bedroom because, not all houses really,
Yeah.
they have like little smaller houses have just like 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. Over.
Yeah, and a bathroom, full bath is gonna be $5,000 to $7,000.
Okay.
A master bath can be like up there. I mean, if she went in and redid a master bath, you're talking a lot.
What, a half bath? Okay.
$20,000, depending on the kitchen. The kitchen can be anywhere from, an extra 10, up to 30. A basement, a garage is gonna be 10,000 if it's attached. If you have a detached garage, that.
The garage is how much?
10. So if my house has a 3-car garage and the house I'm looking at has a 2-car garage, I'm gonna add $10,000 to.
For
the
each
house
bay,
that
so
I'm
for
looking at.
each garage bay. like
Each bay is
car.
10,000.
Okay.
Detached, depending on the buildings. It is usually going to be more because you laid a slab, you have a separate building. So usually it's gonna be 15 to 20 per stall. Finished basement
If they finished it themselves, it's probably gonna be 10. If they had it professionally finished, it's gonna be 25 to 30 more than likely. Am I close?
And how do you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
What were those last numbers?
That's what I use, that's the numbers I use for comp.
What were those last numbers for professionally done?
25 to 30.
25 to 30, thank you.
And depending on what they do. I
Right,
mean,
is it just
you
one
know,
open
sometimes
space? There
they
is a
just-
big-
Sometimes they
Bathroom
have to be
added in.
even more than that. Right. A half a bath is gonna be 23.
My husband does construction,
Oh, okay.
and so.
See, these are the numbers, types of numbers I didn't know, so when I get on there and I'm
Right.
comparing a house that has
See, I had
three
no
bedrooms,
idea
to one
about
that
that.
has four, I needed to know these numbers.
Right. See, when I taught.
So that one on Boston Mountain, we said didn't have enough square footage, so can you show us how to
They had
adjust
like
with
the
this?
one I did, all online and everything, I couldn't be in person, so they don't give me as much information, I could just like ask questions, like.
I was just thinking as an example of what to do on this page. That one on Boston
glad I
Mountain.
For the square footage, well, she was calculating.
Had
About what the average
$1,000
square foot
1,000
was.
square foot less, right?
Thank you.
1,000 square foot less.
Yes, so we have to.
So I'm gonna go in and take the square footage.
Okay.
Calculate at,
Said 192 per square foot times 1,000 is 192,000. So you would,
You would add that to it.
okay. All right,
if I got a minus,
right?
so I'm gonna subtract or add the money. If I'm subtracting, I put a minus in front of it. An add would be a normal.
No attention to the lady behind her.
She needs the candy. Take the whole thing. Please take the whole thing. It's-
Yeah, we're done with it. So you can,
Please take it.
what are you, you're getting Reese's. What are you doing? Are you putting Reese's in the freezer?
I can.
In her stomach.
But no, these are Ricky. She's like, it's the candy.
Stop it. Okay, so you do that, and then it's gonna give you a summary with your adjustments on there. Okay, so see where the adjustments?
Yeah.
I took that from 1.3 to 1.4. I probably could go back and I added to the wrong house.
Yeah, right.
So,
That's the huge one.
Yeah.
yeah. So I would probably go in and
You have to take. from that.
subtract,
Oh, no, or no.
yeah, I'm thinking 200. At least, is probably gonna be more
Probably.
than the negative number that I put in there. But then you can go to the summary. And it will show you what your adjustment numbers are. If you don't like them, fix them.
Hit the back button and go in and fix.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
There's also a button on here that I don't necessarily use. That you can do auto adjustments. Right here, auto adjustments. You can click that button. I don't necessarily, I mean, you can click the button, see if you like the numbers. If you don't like the
Where
numbers.
does it come up with the numbers from?
Huh? Well, it's gonna be
Still
based
have to
on what
put
you put in,
parameters.
based on what you're actually comparing it to. Now, keep in mind, we didn't put in bedrooms, we didn't put in
Right,
bathrooms, we
okay,
didn't
right,
put in.
But if you had,
If we
did it
had,
automatically, does it have the right prices in there for
No,
bedrooms?
you
and
have to
bathrooms?
put them in.
Oh, okay.
I looked at it one time and got very intimidated, so I didn't go very far.
Yeah.
But you.
So you gotta
put in
yeah,
your
you gotta
own,
put it in
and
and so
I
it'll
didn't know
calculate.
those, so I couldn't do them, but yes.
right, yeah.
So you have to put in like.
So if we
you want
went
the
in and put
customer-
these in, then it would automatically do. it.
When you hit the button.
So that'd be good to use, I think.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that those numbers are always right, so be careful with them.
Yeah.
Okay, I like to use my own.
If you're the misaccounting number person, you know, I'd be afraid mine would be wrong before I'd be afraid those would be wrong, because
It's a good key to start with.
Right.
Okay, Then you're gonna get to the recommendations. It's gonna give you the high, the low, and then it will give you the
Well, there's a
recommended
big difference
price.
there.
On there, you can take that out when you do your CMA. I do not usually put a recommended price on there.
Right.
When I do a CMA, I won't walk in the house. I will see the house. And then I go, yeah, we can do this number. Okay?
So you know what it is in your head, you just don't put it on there.
Oh, I don't put it on there. Yeah. And I probably, I can tell you, I wouldn't be doing a 1.4 to a 3.4.
Right, exactly, exactly.
For sure.
Okay. So I'm gonna,
You wouldn't have included the 1.4 in
yeah,
the list of houses. in the
But you
first
wanna go
place.
inside to see if you're gonna go with the low range or the high range.
exactly. And you're gonna know when you walk in. Okay.
Just
So,
like the buyers are gonna know when they walk in, whatever.
yeah.
When they
buyers
say
are
first
gonna know
15 seconds, it's,
This has some price, yeah, usually buyers know within the first 30 seconds whether they're gonna buy a house or not. Okay. And
she
you
claims
can-
it's from when they pull in the drive.
Oh, yeah, and we'll talk about that. On those buyer things that they, buyer signals, that's what we call them. So you can go in and do that, then you can hit finish. It's going to bring up all these different fields that you can print. And you can decide what you want to print and what you don't want to print on here. I will tell you that usually you just want to go look at it and see what you like and what you don't like. Okay?
Do a preview.
Do a preview. Yep, when you go down here, you can view it. And in that picture pretty,
Did you take that?
I don't know, I stole it somewhere.
I was gonna say that, it's awesome.
And then it's, you got a map of where your comps are, okay? Nothing out there in Eagle Rock. They're all kind of together. These are the properties that I use to do it. And then, you know, here's a list of the properties that we did, closed, distance from the house, that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, I saw that, but you're in rural. It's rural. You probably don't need this picture again, so I'd probably go take that picture out. And then it's got, you know, number of bedrooms, number of baths. It gives in the information of all the houses that we put in there. And then we get, you know, listed and sold adjusted price. This is your adjustments that you made. And then we get into the statistical stuff. Bunch of statistical stuff.
This was the full.
This is the full CMA. Okay, I am not usually one to go in and put in the full listing document. So normally, you know, I would go back and I would take out the full report and I might make it one line. Okay, and then you can go look at it again.
And do you ever have people have you go through all of this, show up there, and then get your information and go, okay, now we got all your information, we're gonna try to sell it ourselves?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just is what it is,
But
right?
I didn't give them the price yet.
So when do you give them the price? Do you get under contract before you give them the price? You have an idea that they're gonna sign it, right?
Yeah. I have an idea. of what they're gonna do. So, I mean, when you go through the listing appointment, you know, of course, we're gonna go all the way back to page 23. We went.
Yeah.
We did a chapter before we did a chapter. So anyway, when we show up and we have our listing presentation and we have our CMA information, we are going to knock on the door. First, we're gonna show up on time. If our appointment is at 7 o'clock, we're gonna be there at 7 o'clock. We're not gonna be there at 7:15. We're gonna be there by 7 o'clock. We're gonna knock on the door. We're gonna take 2 steps back. The reason that we take 2 steps back is because then we are non-threatening. If you're standing right up on the door, you're threatening. If you were 2 steps back, you were non-threatening. Okay? You're more inviting. Okay? They're gonna open up the door and you're gonna say, hello, Mr. Seller, my name is Ann. We have an appointment at 7 o'clock and it's 7 o'clock and I'm on time. Do you know why we do that?
To let them know you're on time.
Most real estate agents aren't on time. Most of us show up late. I don't. I show up early.
I show up
And I
early
sit out in
too.
the front yard. Okay. So you wanna let them know that you're here. And a lot of times they're gonna go, oh my God, you're the fifth one in and you're the only one that showed up on time. You probably won the listing right then and there. You don't have to do anything because you showed up on time. You are going to ask them to give you a tour of the house. You are going to ask them if there's anything that they have done to the house. You're also going to ask them what it was that made them buy the house. Because chances are, whatever they bought the house for is what the next buyer is going to buy the house for. Okay, that same reason happens. Oh my God, I love the yard. Okay, so, so you wanna find out, you know, what kind of updates have you done? And when did you do them? Okay, and they're gonna tell you that they updated the kitchen, and you're gonna walk in the kitchen and go, yeah, 20 years ago.
You're not gonna say that.
We're not gonna say that. You keep your mouth shut, you make mental notes of everything that needs to be done to the house, okay? So we're gonna do the walkthrough of the home, we're going to get to the kitchen table. And I will say, you do wanna make sure that when you go on a listing appointment, that all decision makers are there. Don't go on a listing appointment where you're just meeting with the husband and the wife's not there. Don't go on a listing appointment where the wife's there and the husband's not there. Okay, you wanna make sure that all decision makers are there when you show up to the listing appointment. We're gonna get to the kitchen table. And then we're gonna go through our listing presentation, the things that we're going to do for them. Okay, how the process works, getting ready to put your house on the market, and then we'll go through the CMA. Before I get to the CMA, I ask them if they have any questions. Okay, and we're gonna answer whatever questions they may have. Once we go through that, and they've got the guy who's selling the home in here.
Is the home tour checklist, is that in with the package? You know,
Should be. So you're gonna go through your listing presentations. Which is, you know, quite a few pages long. The listing presentation is going to keep you on track. Okay, and it's got a flow to it. You will not be getting ahead of yourself. And sometimes as brand new agents, we get excited and we go way too fast. Okay, it will slow you down. So you can actually have a good conversation about what you're doing and what you're going to do for them, okay? And then we're gonna talk about the price. And you're going to give recommendations. Now, if they told you, I want $580,000 for the house, you're gonna basically say, I feel comfortable with that number. Okay? And I can go one better than that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put it on for 625. You're gonna make some extra money, okay? And you kind of know them. They're not interviewing other people, okay? If you don't know them, you may not go into that detail.
Right.
Okay. Once you get through and everybody loves each other, and we all know we're the best things since sliced bread.
these videos it tells you to watch, I can't find them. What am I doing wrong?
And that's because I'm kind of teaching the old one and not the new one. Ignite. They come out with the new at night, so you may not be able to find the old
You
one.
can't,
And that's why you can't find
so
it.
I need to look in the Ignite to find them.
Yes. So
And
you
then it'll
want to
have
go
it in
into
there,
the
okay.
student.
All right.
And I've downloaded the instructor manual. but they want $800 for the new student manual. And I haven't decided to spend that, not that y'all ain't worth it because you.
For the new one, oh, okay, I see what you're saying for these, yeah.
It's the same.
Because it's not
And
online.
it's
I
kind
thought it
of
was
all
on
the
there.
same anyway.
They've got something on there. Maybe it is the instructors that I've seen when I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so then we're gonna, depending on, you know, how we feel about each other. Okay, I'm gonna ask them, are you ready to list your house? The number one mistake most realtors make is they do not ask for the business. Ask for the business, that's what you're there for. Okay, so we're not gonna go on a listing appointment, we're not gonna go through all of this and go, okay, let me know what you think. Call me. We're gonna ask for the business, are you ready to
Because,
list your
yeah,
house with
somebody
me?
else is gonna come in between them and steal it from you.
And they're
'Cause
gonna
"Are you
say,
ready?" Yeah,
hey, I've got some other interviews going on. Okay, if they don't say, yes, I'm ready to list my house, and they say, I've got some other interviews going on, I'm gonna interview a couple other agents.
most people don't do that though, do they? Like you said, they first one they talk to, right?
Most of the time they do, but I can tell you that, I've walked in a lot of listing appointments and they said,
They had
I
others,
got other people to talk to.
but you closed them up though.
Yep. Maybe not right then and there. But I come back with that, okay, when are your appointments?
And when am I gonna get back to you?
And please give me the opportunity to come back after you talk to everybody else, so that I can answer whatever questions you may have. Or I can rebuttal whatever
Right.
somebody else might have said.
Right.
Okay. And depending on the individual that I'm talking to, remember, I'm a very direct person. And I know that all of you guys aren't like this. Because sometimes you get with a smart aleck guy.
Mhm.
I've been known to say, oh yeah, I understand, I completely understand. You have been selling real estate for the last 20 years, and I am brand new at this, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Yes, I've done that.
Sometimes that happens.
Did I get the listing? Yes, I did. So we're gonna have that conversation. If they say, no, I don't wanna do this, we're gonna try to set up a follow-up appointment with them. Okay? If they do say yes, then we are gonna go ahead and pull out that paperwork. We're gonna have them sign the listing agreement. Even though it may take them 2 weeks to get everything done, there's a little line on a listing contract that says that it won't be effective until this date. Okay? Now, I can tell you guys that out of all the listings that I did, there was only one time that I actually walked into a house and we were able to put that house on the market right then and there. There was nothing that needed to be done. Okay? One time. I listed a lot of houses. So once they sign that paperwork, I say, do you have a pad and pen? Grab a pad and pen, let's walk the house. And then we are gonna go through the house, and I'm gonna tell them everything that they need to do to get it ready, to list it at the listing price that we agreed to. Okay. All personal memorabilia gotta come down. We have a lot of hunters in this area. All the deer heads gotta come down. Fishes, deer,
Dead animals,
foxes.
basically no dead animals.
No dead
Dead
animals.
animals.
That's what I call it, dead animals, no dead animals.
Anything that is ethnic.
Right.
Has got to come down. And I will give you guys an example of this. Full disclosure, I'm full-blooded German, both my parents came from Germany. Okay, there was a lot of German crap in my parents' house. A lot. Like, a lot.
It was all German stuff, huh?
All German stuff. All of that stuff had to come out of the house when we got ready to list it. Okay. In my old house that Steve and I have up in Stillwell, We had a 2-story, 2.5-story stone fireplace that had a really nice 12-point buck that was on the fireplace. And then on the opposite end of the wall, there was another 10-point buck that was on the fireplace. And we had those, beams that went up, we have a skywalk, and we had those beams that went up. And on one of those beams was a Canadian goose doing this. Okay, flying. Really cool, okay, it was awesome. All of that stuff had to come in when we got ready to sell a house. What I tell people is the way we live is one thing. What we have to do to sell our house is another. Okay, we want to declutter. We want to move furniture.
Need them to be able to vision themselves in the home.
There you go.
You want the new people to be able to envision them. We don't want them to be walking down the hallway, looking at personal pictures of the grandkids and everything else,
Right, getting distracted.
and they're not seeing the house. Okay,
Would you
So-
consider Christian verses and stuff to be ethnic? Like, in the sense of get rid of it because it expresses a particular viewpoint?
is it over the top?
I don't know, I'm just using this, I'm just asking if I'm wrong.
I mean, if you walk in and there's a cross on the wall and that it's not like a whole shrine,
Right,
then you're probably okay,
okay.
okay? But if you walk in and it's like,
A whole wall across this.
you know, everything, that's what we got going on,
Right,
that stuff's gotta come in.
okay.
The wall, you know, we all go to grandma's house. And you have the hallway, and all the pictures, they all have. Okay, less is more. My neighbors across the street, they wanted me to help them sell their house. So I went in there, now, you know, Steve and I had been in the house, we went there for dinner, you know, did all these things. And they have this great big huge room that, you know, lakefront, $1 million view. But they had like, you know, the room was probably this wide. Okay, and over here in this little side over here is where they had all their living room furniture. Okay, the kitchen was back there. But the dining room table was right there. So you had to walk from there to get to the dining room table. So, and I have been over at their house many a times, okay, for dinner and everything else. And I never said a word. You live here, this is how you want it, rock and roll. So I walk into the house, we get ready to put the house on the market. And the first thing I do is I drag the dining room table back by the kitchen. I take all of their living room furniture and I start pushing it towards the wall, which made their living room look huge. It was huge, okay? And her comment to me was, oh my God, you've been over here so many times, you never said a word. Well, no, that's how you want it, okay? So clutter's gotta go, stuff's gotta come off of the countertops, less is more, how we live. And what we have to do to sell our house is 2 different things. If you walk into a master bedroom and the closet is jam-packed full of clothes, start packing, you're moving. Well, I don't wanna pack all this stuff up, you're moving,
You're going to.
start packing, okay?
Good, that's one thing that's one of my pet peeves on listings is I don't even wanna see the closet if it's just packed full of all their stuff. What's the whole point of it? You can't even tell how big it is. It just looks like it's just piled full of
If
stuff.
you start
Yeah.
taking things out,
It'll make it look bigger.
it makes it look bigger, so
But
that's
to me,
my
it's
other
like tacky
comment.
to,
Less
it's
is
kind of
more.
like the tacky girls that take the selfies in the mirror or whatever, and then or in their house, in the background, and the house is all crappy
Oh,
looking,
yeah, that's.
dirty and stuff like that.
Really,
And they're all being all cute and everything, and you're like, ugh.
you couldn't pick up your dirty underwear off of that.
Right, yeah.
So
That's like
less is
full-
more.
full
We
closet is
we
bad.
want to make the house presentable. I also will not put a house on the market until it's ready to be put on the market. Well, go ahead, get it listed and then we'll do it. No, I got one shot.
Yeah.
Okay, people come over here and they look at this house, I got
They're not
one
gonna come
shot.
back, yeah. they're not
Once they
gonna
come in, I'm not getting them back over here. They've already seen it. We need to put our best foot forward. Okay, so how long do you think it's going to take you to do this laundry list of things that I need to do? And anything that they tell you, double it. Because it's gonna take them twice as long to actually take care of it. Okay?
Now, what if they're just really insulted by the fact that you expect them to do all that stuff? I don't wanna do all that just to sell my house.
Then you don't wanna sell your house?
Then we may not be a good fit.
Yeah, exactly.
So you just insist that they do it if you're gonna list it,
And we come up with a compromise of what we need to do,
what you can live with.
what I can live with and what I can't live with. Okay, first impression. When you walk in the house, first impression. And if you want top dollar, and I have that conversation with them. If you want this price, if you want the $625,000, we need to do these things. If you don't wanna do all of these things, then we need to take the price down.
And bring up their motivating factor again.
And bring it what?
Their motivating factor again.
Yes,
Aren't we supposed to be in Kansas City in 3 months or whatever?
what are we doing? Do you wanna hang on to it? Do you really wanna sell it? And I have walked away from listings. I have. If I walked into a listing, they said, I want 750,000, and I know it's only worth 650. And I know I'm not gonna be able to get that intake sold. I have. Down to where I.
We'll take a penny more or a penny less. My dad said that one time. I was like, oh my God, Dad, you didn't just say that.
Yeah,
I won't take a penny more or a penny less. That's what I want for it.
yeah, until the offer comes in.
But I mean, isn't that a crazy thing to say? I won't take a penny more. I can see I won't take a penny less, but he says, this is what I want for it. I won't take a penny more or a penny less. And I'm like, are you stupid?
Well, I can't say that, John, but you can.
Because I knew, I was like, Dad, don't be telling people that. My God.
So, and I will say that sometimes it's best to walk away. Okay, and I've walked away from listings. This is not gonna, we are not a good fit. And I wish you the best of luck. And when the house doesn't sell and your realtor isn't able to get it sold, give me a call. Okay, so, because remember, your sign's in the yard, your name's on that sign, your phone number's on that sign. That house is sitting there for 9 months to a year to 15 months and it's not selling. And you know what everybody in the neighborhood's saying?
She can't sell it.
She can't sell that house. It doesn't have anything to do with him or them. Okay.
Or the
It's
crappy
you
house.
that can't sell the house.
Yeah, somebody told me once that they went ahead and took a listing, even if the owner wants way too much, because the signage is free advertising. And they'll get calls. But I just think that's not necessarily
Well, I might do it for 3 months.
right. Yeah,
But I'm not gonna put your house on the market for 6 months
right.
and have my sign sit there and not be able to sell it.
Mhm.
Now, have I ever taken over an overpriced listing? Yes. Because I felt that I could get them to reduce it.
Right.
Okay. Have I ever said, I knew that the house was only gonna go for $299 and they wanted to sell it for $325? Okay, we'll do it your way for 10 days.
Yeah, that's what I'm, yeah.
Okay,
We're gonna revisit this within 2 weeks.
No.
no, here's a listing, change amendment right here. We're gonna go ahead and put it on for your price, and you're gonna go ahead and sign this document.
Oh, I
For
see.
2 weeks later, this is, we're gonna take the price down.
Oh, okay.
Right, I've done that. Well, okay, we'll play. Stupid appraiser told you it was worth $328, it's really worth $299. I can't help it. But we'll go ahead and try $328. And when it doesn't sell for $328, there's a listing change to take it down in 2 weeks to 30 days.
And what do you do about people that say, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and price it high and then see what offers come in, you know, and then I'll go from there, decide on the highest offer.
Probably not gonna get any help.
Right.
You're still gonna. do
Right,
that?
right, but that's their thing. I'm just repeating their thing, like if they respond like that. heard people kind of negotiate that way, and I'm just.
Well, I mean,
curious
I
to
just
see.
had that conversation.
Yeah.
You all said 328, if the number's 299. Are you willing to sign a
Right.
listing change?
Right.
And you
and
don't get
Jamie-
the
If I don't-
showings, you don't get any.
Yeah, if I don't think I can get them where it needs to be, I'm walking.
Because it's a lot of work for nothing, right?
Right.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna send a photographer to go over there. I'm gonna put marketing into it.
My pictures.
If I get any sign calls, I gotta go show it. You know, I mean, time is money. So I'm not just gonna
You're
put a
gonna
house on the
Go get,
market.
go get one you can sell instead of being tied down by that.
I don't work for free.
So there is a,
We don't get paid till we close.
Right.
Okay, so,
there is also a great, I'm not quite sure where to find it, but people have showed it to me. I haven't had to use it myself yet, but there's a great thing in stats in Flex, which shows you houses that have had a price change and how long it takes them to sell compared to houses that have not had a price change and they sell that much faster. And it's a
Because they priced
very
it right the first
obvious,
time.
it's a very obvious benefit to price it right from the get-go.
yes,
So if they are,
yeah, cause.
and if
the
you show them
showings
that
are gonna be
stat,
Up here. Okay, and I tell you guys all the time. 10 days. 10 days no showings is priced too high. 10 showings no offers is priced too high. Okay, so, and you will see, there's a graph, I think it might even be in here, where your showings are gonna take off. And then the longer it's on the market, the more the showings go down, because the perception of the buyers, something's wrong with that house.
Right, it's been on the market a long time.
Why
didn't
has
it
that
sell?
house been on the market for so long? And then what
I
happens?
have that perception myself when I look at listings,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah,
that's kind of true, right?
well, and there's 3 reasons why it doesn't sell.
It's overpriced or it's crappy or it's what? I thought it was
Location,
location, right.
price, condition, location. Okay. So that's kind of how we're gonna do it.
It's right here, yep, on page 15. Oh, they don't have that one.
Oh, it is.
Is
Okay,
it
awesome.
the CMA one?
We did the
Okay.
CMA one.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't have the booklet.
no, we have them in the seller book.
Yeah. Cause we jumped.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. Once you get the house on the market, once they've done everything that they need to do to get the house on the market in the condition that we need need it in, okay? We're gonna probably have professional pictures taken. Please don't take pictures with your phone. You can tell.
And do you have specific people that you use?
Yeah, we have all kinds of
There's
people
a lot of.
in the office. Or that work for people in the office. So
Was
we
there a
got
list of
lots
them
of,
somewhere?
lots of photography, Jared Lee does stuff like that, so. I mean, if you're.
Does Jan or somebody have a list of them?
You can go on the Facebook page.
Oh, it's on Facebook page.
Or
You
go on
can
there
just
now.
ask, you guys use for
Yeah.
photography.
Go on there now.
Yeah.
I don't know if we used to have a vendor list, I don't know if we still do. There's also on the wall, when you walk in the break room, there's all kinds of cards.
Yeah, I didn't see any for professional or photographers, though. Lots of insurance and warranty.
Yeah. Probably. But go on, I mean, Watson,
Right.
Jared Lee, Google
Right.
that. And if you're not sure if you wanna use somebody or not, you can go on the private Facebook page.
And what's your average price to get photos for a listing?
Drone or no drone,
Drone is pretty important, isn't it? Well, I guess it's not necessary.
it depends,
Can you use photos from previous listings, drone photos?
not without paying for them.
No, you can't, that's what.
No. No, I'm
Get
just.
sprayed about it.
You will get sprayed. Unless you call them up and go, hey,
Let me tell you a story here about a previous realtor that I had when we were selling our place in Forsyth. I had downloaded photos from when it was for sale, when we bought it, we started the year. And the realtor come in, she take crappy pictures on the phone and everything. And I took better pictures myself and sent her, and then I also sent her some of them that were downloaded off that other listing, and she put them up. Would
Yeah,
that be
well-
on her? I mean,
well, if they came directly from you and you were the seller. She didn't know that, she didn't go on the MLS. and
Right,
yell
he
like
didn't do
that.
it, no, so would that come back on me?
Yeah. So that's on the seller.
That was my question, was it that would, like, that would be,
I mean,
because you can't download them and reuse them.
you don't want to go on the MLS and download it.
It wasn't off the MLS, it was from Realtor.com or whatever, where it was for sale previously, when we got it.
But that was you as an owner.
Right, is that illegal or legal for me to do that?
That was you as an owner.
Yeah.
Okay. And nobody said it was illegal to go in and
Oh,
download that.
Oh, I thought,
It's
but you
it's an ethical issue.
right,
You
oh,
will
okay,
get a phone call
right, on reusing them,
from the previous agent.
right,
You used my pictures, you didn't pay me for them.
Right.
I paid for those pictures.
right,
So you can call them and ask them,
right.
and you can buy them from them. But do not go in and download pictures and then
Right.
upload them.
Right,
But
I won't get in trouble for doing that, that was what I was going to
it
get.
was you as. an
I
owner.
wasn't a real estate agent at the time or nothing, it was.
No, you're not doing it.
Okay. See, that's what, you had me worried there.
But you as an agent do not want to go download.
No, right, but I kind of got that from the beginning.
Okay, so we're gonna stage it. We talked about staging a little bit. Less is more. Get it ready. Don't put it on the market until it's ready to go on the market. Okay? We're gonna have pictures taken. If you're selling a $50,000 lot, no, you don't need to have professional pictures taken. Okay? If you're selling a $90,000 mobile home that's trashed, no, you don't have to have professional pictures taken. If you're selling a $650,000 house, have professional pictures taken. And I will say, use.
You'll get
common
more out,
sense.
it'll pay back in the long run, won't it? Won't it, I mean, pretty much,
Mhm.
they'll more than pay for themselves.
Okay, so you wanna market the listing? Lots of different ways to market listings. You can go on Facebook, social media, campaigns within Command. You can go in and click on, I wanna market my listing. You wanna tell it what the listing address is or the MLS number. It will pick out a template. It will load everything for you. And then you can do that. Open houses, you can do open houses on it. Do keep in mind that open houses are just really to make the seller happy and for you to pick up buyers.
They don't actually sell houses, do they?
Not normally.
Like 2% of the time or something?
Yeah, it's like less than 7% of the time. You can door knock, you can let all the neighbors know that the house is on the market. Social media, stuff like that. Communicate with the sellers. Okay, I can't tell you how many times, I went on a listing appointment and I was always the second or third listing agent. And I would ask them how their experience was, and they would say she put a sign in the yard, listed my house, and I never heard from her. Okay, so you do wanna call them, you do wanna let them know, what's going on. I usually tell people to call on Mondays. Either call or email on Mondays. Let them know what you're doing, okay? We have 14 showings on the property. This is the feedback that I got. I did some social media marketing. I did this, I did that. I did an open house. Tell them what you're doing. They don't know what you're doing unless you tell them, and they forget. And if you put it in writing, then you can go back and go, oh, well, I sent you an email last week that told you all these things. Okay? So do that, be solution focused. Okay. I think we're there. Questions? We got distracted on a lot of things today.
But I think we all needed it, or I did.
No, we covered some good stuff. I mean, it was some good information. Okay, so questions? Did you get anything out of this? Did it help?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, cool. Guys, see y'all next week, I think.
Okay, tomorrow.
I think,
No, not tomorrow.
You're not
on
gonna be here?
Tuesday,
No, I'll be
I
here,
got
but I'm not doing training.
on Tuesday.
On Tuesday. Awesome.
Tomorrow afternoon, I got.
Well, I will see you tomorrow, but I won't be doing training tomorrow.
For me, yeah.